me. Recently got a call from my Alan Horton. Alan Horton is the dad of Isaiah Horton. Committed to the Manny Diaz regime, kid out of Tennessee, 2022 kid. Alan called me with a concern. Alan called me and he said, hey, listen, man, I've been watching your show for a while. I would like to know what's going on down at the University of Miami. Because who else would you call if you want to know what's going on down at the University of Miami other than XD FOOTBALLVILLE Caneville? He said he wanted to know what's going on. He said he had recently came down on a visit, talked to the coaches recently now, and everything was fine. Like, they didn't mention anything about anybody being fired or anybody leaving. I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, nobody had been fired. It was just rumors in the media. But him as his kid coming in to spend the next 3-4 years here, he wanted to know the real. So I sat down, I talked to him about an hour. Kept it real with him, straight shooter, shot straight with him. Good dude, military guy, former Army guy. I was in the Marines. And we sat down and we hit it up. We chopped it up for about an hour, and I kept it real with him. I just told him that, listen, no matter what, if you come to the University of Miami, you're walking into a new you where the administration has decided to support the University of Miami, and the administration has decided to put money, the money that they've always had or got from COVID, U-Health or whatever, behind the University of Miami. And I can't see how it can go anywhere. The word was that Cristobal was coming. I put that bug in his ear. And he appreciated it. He appreciated it. He sent out the tweet. We can put the tweet down there somewhere. Sent out the tweet and basically said, we're the ones that calmed them down. Listen, man, it's about the crib at the end of the day. This is why we do this thing. It's about the crib. At the end of the day, we're all you fans. We just needed University of Miami to get on board and have the commitment that the people in the community have for the university and the school. So yeah, man, shout out to Alan Horton, man. Shout out to Isaiah Horton. We checked out his senior highlights, man, in Alpha ACL tear. His dad says he's finally back. He's back 100%. And he looked good out there. He looked good out there. Not sure the competition in Tennessee, but I'm not the one to evaluate kids like that. I evaluate you with your explosiveness. If you're playing against competition that's not up to par, well, you should dominate them on that level. Period. Point blank. That's how I look at it. So yeah, man. Shout out to the Horton family. They came down on the weekend for the new visit with Mario Cristobal. They were here with Kamari Wilson and Najee Kelly, Cyrus Moss. A couple more kids down here come talk to Mario. And it's a new day at the University of Miami, big dog. It's a new day. It's a great day at the University of Miami. It's good to be a Cane fan at this point. The money coming through. You got people fighting for a stadium. The Miami Hurricane football future looks brighter than goddamn South Beach right now. Right now. And Caneville, FOOTBALLVILLE, we're going to be your hub to bring you all the info, all the inside stuff, let you in on these kids. You're going to hear it here first, you know what I'm saying? So stay locked in with us, man. Go follow us on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Go follow us on everything because we are the source. Caneville.
Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida. Welcome to South Florida. The bottom of the clip of the Gunshine State. One of them boys still boring in that way. Big plate, get it for the 18 if you straight. Get cake and stop hating, it's the motto of the state. A lot of fakes, but it's still real around here. That foreign talk, that can get.
All right, man. Shout out to Edge. Best tasting energy drink in the world. Shout out to SynergySweets.com. Go put your order in, man. SynergySweets.com. Tampa Dessert War winner. Man, listen, man, we're not endorsing nothing that ain't on fire. That's the bottom line. We're not endorsing anything that ain't on fire. Speaking of being on fire, Shout out to ILD Squad, Investor Die. Come through, learn what's the next big crypto, learn how you should approach crypto. Only 3% of the world is in crypto. It is a baby. You know what crypto is? Crypto is the internet when it was going, and we didn't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? That's what crypto is right now. And if you'd invested in, then, you'd been rich. So this is your second time, bro. I'm telling you, come check out IOD Squad. The link is in the description. 786-405-9499. Send me a text. I'll send you the link. Let's get rolling, man. Yesterday, or the other day, National Signing Day, Miami comes out with 8 kids. Mario Cristobal has his National Signing Day press conference. And one thing that he did in the press conference, he said he gave props to Roland Smith, the one I'm going to pay attention to. He gave props to Roland Smith. This is Miami Central head coach. Roland Smith and his team, AJ and my boys, are getting ready to play a state championship this week. And to bag, I think, maybe their 7th, 8th state championship. Just legendary Florida ass-whooping dynasty, whatever you want to call it. They're about to do it again. And there's schools, there's coaches across Florida that brag about winning their district 5 times in a row. Yeah, I mean, they're the big dog in their city. You know what I'm saying? Making it to a state championship is like a pipe dream, but I mean, they're respected in their city. They're respected in their district. And these boys do it unconsciously. They do it. And yesterday, Cristobal, basically talking about Wesley Basaint, Miami Central linebacker that recently committed, gave Roland his flowers. Basically said, listen, he plays for Roland Smith. You know he's going to be ready to play. And that's the connection with the coaches that the high school coaches deserve. They deserve, because they're not getting pulled up like they should. But that's the connection. That's the flowers they deserve and the respect that they deserve. And I think that's the relationship that Cristobal and his staff in Miami has to connect with the community, the coaches. I think it has to be one. Like he said, bring it in tight. I felt them on that. Bring it in tight. We can all do this together. Yeah, I'm the one in the room making $8 million, but it ain't about money. You know what I'm saying? It's about community. It's about us building something together. And then maybe a few can get pulled up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a few can get pulled up. Maybe we can create a system to where 1 or 2 of y'all we take every few years. Maybe we can. They definitely deserve it. You know what I'm saying? With all the Chaminade and St. Thomas and Central and Northwest. Man, all the winning football they've done with the less resources when it comes to the inner city schools, they deserve it. Roland Smith played for the University of Miami. You know what I'm saying? He played for the University of Miami, and you know the youth family when it comes to that thing. They're trying to bring all of that back. Him, Mario. You saw him on the picture. One of the first schools he stopped by with his suit on late 9 o'clock that night was Miami Central. So bring the thing in tight is what he said, and that's we're gonna hang his hat. He's gonna hang his hat on. Also, when bringing the thing in tight, I don't know what I got going on over here. Also, with bringing the thing in tight, he's gonna have to. I mean, not have to, but there's an issue on the table. 5-star linebacker Terrence Lewis grew up Bunch Park. Played in Miami Gardens, played up his whole. I mean, he's a youth football legend around here, man. He never played in his age group. He always played up, so he always played with the older kids. Gets to high school, Miami Northwestern becomes a 5-star linebacker, the number 1 linebacker in the nation. Transfers to Chaminade, transfers to Central, ends his career at Central, plays on a bum knee, has a hell of a season. Think they win state championship. question, did they have the best linebacker core ever to come through Dade County? Goes to Maryland and comes back home. He comes back home and basically makes it known he's ready to sign now. He's ready to do the thing for the U. And Miami hasn't pulled the trigger on that. With Mario just landing back in Miami and the relationship he wants to make with the community, we saw him at Killian, we saw him at Northwestern. Am I missing any of them? We saw him at Killian, Northwestern. I mean, he got up that morning and went and talked to Shamar Stewart. The relationship, the bond that he wants to bring it in tight. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. Even though we've heard that as now T2 was going to take, that he ends up at Miami. I believe he ends up at Miami, and I believe he ends up at Miami with a short leash. But I believe he ends up at Miami with the relationships and the people that's pulling for him. Could you imagine seeing Wesley Basaint and T2 at some point in time? The University of Miami linebackers, you know what I'm saying? 2 Dade County kids. Like, I mean, could you imagine, you know what I'm saying? Two Dade County kids, highly recruited, playing at a high level. Oh man, like, talking about setting the stadium on fire. Those are the type of stories I think Miami needs to get that Hard Rock moving and rocking. So yeah, we're gonna watch that closely, man. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, man, T2 ends up at Miami, man, which I think which I think would do him some due diligence. I think he needs to be home. I think he needs to be close to family to get this thing going. I didn't think not one iota of me thought T2 would stay in Maryland for 3 years. I didn't see that happening. See, a lot of things, a lot of y'all don't understand. Some of our kids grow up, right? And believe me, I know T2 since he was this big, but I don't know personally where he's been, where he haven't been. But I'm gonna tell you a story about some of our kids. A lot of our kids in the inner city grew up Dade County, Broward. There's kids living in Pompano that's probably never seen South Beach. I wouldn't lie to you, bro. There's kids living in Liberty City that have probably never seen South Beach. You know how far Liberty City is from South Beach? Maybe 3 miles, 4 miles. There are kids that make it to high school and the first time they get on a plane is to go play a high school football game versus another team. You know how I know? Because I was one of them. First time getting on a plane was me playing basketball, flying to Las Vegas to play in the basketball tournament. And I know a lot of y'all fans can't relate to that, you know what I'm saying, because you come from different backgrounds, different environments. But there are kids that literally don't see the other side of their county, let alone first time you're away from your parents, you're in Maryland. Or you're in Death Valley, or you the first time you're away from your parents for a month, you're in Death Valley. That's something you guys have to understand. For the ones who don't understand it, it could be a culture shock. National Signing Day. Deion Sanders primetime makes a statement, says he's gonna shock the world. Signing day starts, everything's going as planned. Start hear rumblings that, hey man, Travis Hunter may be flipping Georgia. He may be leaving Florida State, flipping going to Georgia. That won't be good for Florida State, Norvell, and those guys. Then as we started looking into it deeper, we were like, oh man, he took off Florida State pictures off his Instagram. But no, we're hearing it's not really like not Georgia. Remember he took that visit to Jackson State? Yeah, but it can't be Jackson State. I mean, so funny, man. My info guy X got the news and wrote it off. Didn't even pass the news on. Got the news early, and wrote it off, didn't pass it on because it didn't seem like something likely to happen. I started putting two and two together, you know what I'm saying, sitting in the lab. I said, oh no, hit it, man. We gotta create something. So I create the post. Hearing that Deion Sanders may be pulling off one of the biggest flips in college football history. If he does this, if this happens, then he's the GOAT. Number one cornerback in the nation, wide receiver in the nation, athlete in the nation, whatever he is. I just know it says 111. Maybe flipping from Florida State and heading to Jackson State. Didn't even sound right saying. Didn't sound right writing it down. It didn't, from what we've seen in the past, it didn't make sense. But having Deion in the middle of it, we knew it was possible. So I make the video. Time passes, couple comments. Man, if this happens, NCAA gonna be in Mississippi tonight. That's what some people were saying. Man, it was maybe an hour later. It's confirmed. Travis Hunter does this hoopla, throws a Georgia hat, throws a Florida State hat. Say, hey, Mom, throw me the hat, and she throws him Jackson State. So Travis Hunter headed to Jackson State. There was a rumor that it was a big Barstool deal and a big Penn National Gaming deal to go along with it. Then that got debunked. We're going to watch that closely. But the number one player in the world going to an HBCU, it's just so many different directions we can go with this. But one direction I want to talk about is that Florida. What's significant about Florida and the NIL? Two of the states that jumped out in front of this NIL thing was Florida and California. Florida and California jumped out front. Oh man, this sounds great, man. You had the governor of California going on the LeBron show. He's signing the paperwork, and they jumped out in front of it and made their own rules. Which I think what happened from that was the rules that they created were actually more strenuous than the actual NIL rules, because the NCAA are still sitting on their hands like, we don't know. How much Texas? 50,000? Oh, we're not sure. The rules, there aren't really rules as strenuous as the ones that Cali and Florida created. So Cali and Florida create these rules. Now they have like a guideline that's kind of holding them back from doing certain things that other states could do. Travis Hunter not going to Florida State can hamper that program for a long time for numerous different reasons. But what came out of that was a bill being passed the same day or the next morning for Florida and the NIL. Maybe because it hit so close to home to the Capitol in Tallahassee. But they got them moving, and they made things happen. But my question is, when it comes to things of this nature, I think what Deion did was sat down, and I use this word a lot. I talk about leverage and I talk about value. I think what he sat down with Travis Hunter and what he did was what everybody's been afraid of. He showed the young man his value. Always go back to David Chappelle, when David Chappelle walked away from the David Chappelle show and all of that money. He said, once upon a time, my dad told me if the price ever get too high, he said, name your price before you go in, son. If your price get too high, walk away. David Chappelle got handed a huge contract, I think from Comedy Central, to continue doing the David Chappelle show. And he felt it. He didn't feel it was too much, but he started feeling like, hey, they was no longer laughing with me, they were laughing at me. He walked away. Went to Africa, got missing for a little bit, kind of wiped the slate clean, came back, and put his value in the hands of the people. He didn't have to see David Chappelle, he didn't have to start from the ground up, but what he did was put the value in the hands of the people, and he let the people decide his value, which you can do in a social media age. and basically built another empire. Just took his empire, his sand castle, and he just started building over here. And the people gave him his value back with no big companies involved, with nobody muddy in the media, nobody saying he's crazy, he's going to Africa. No, he didn't let anybody devalue him. He walked away, came back, gave his value to the people. He let the people decide his value, and he built it back up. Deion showing us the value of the number one player in the nation and showing him, hey, listen, bro, you actually have this. This is what they usually give you. This is what they're talking to you about, right? But this is actually what you are. This is what you have right now. It's something that a lot of institutions, a lot of colleges are afraid of. Having to do business with the ones, and it's going to be only the top ones, having to do business with them at their value. And I think that's what Deion pulled. What's the saying? You pull the wool over the. I think Deion Sanders has opened a can that college football don't want. He's walked down a road that college football don't want to walk down. And that's in not handing bags under the table and hey baby, we finna hand you something. No, man, dealing with these kids in value. I'm sure we see Travis Hunter on Barstool or walking with the logo, or I'm sure in the future he's going to have plenty of opportunities here soon, even if they're denying it now. Value. So my question is, let me know in the comment section below, did Norvell fail as a recruiter with his polo shirt and his sweatpants? Or did the whole entire system, did Florida State fail as a program to not deal with that kid in a business like, and tell him, hey, listen, man, this is your value. When you come here, you're worth this to us. You're going to put this many seats in. This is the money you give us, so we're willing to offer you this right up front. Did they fail on that nature? Did they fail as a system? Did they fail as a program? Not dealing with that kid on that level and just thinking, hey, we got him. He dream school, it's his dream school, big dog. You know what I'm saying? He for the freezy. You know what I'm saying? Did they still? So let us know in the comment section below. Did Norvell fail as a recruiter, or did the system, did Florida State, the school, fail as a school, and the boosters and everybody who's around the program and who can create these NIL deals? Did they all fail and were blind to what was possible with a kid of that caliber? Let us know in the comment section below. A lot of responses to what happened yesterday when it comes to the top player in the nation in Jackson State and flipping that kid. Lane Kiffin pointed out something that made a lot of sense. When we're talking about money, now we're talking about business. And when we're talking about business, a lot of times there have to be contracts in place if the relationship isn't there, if things ain't on the up and up. And a lot of these kids that are jumping ship, we seen Bo Nix, 3-year star at Auburn, jump ship. We seen Sean Shivers, the running back at Auburn, who ran the kid over from Alabama, knocked his helmet off. I think he was there maybe 3 years. He jumped ship. Where did Sean Shivers land? But these kids, Quinny Ewers leaves high school early, heads to Ohio State, and leaves Ohio State in 1 year, heads to Texas. A lot of these kids are jumping around for these deals, and a lot of them doesn't have the team around them to make sure these deals are solidified before they get there. One thing Lane Kiffin touched on was, I hope you guys get all this money that's being promised. Keyword, promised to you. Because if it's being promised, there's nothing you're sitting on. Yeah, it may be in advance, but a lot of times that advance may be the only thing you see. Quinny Ewers, I knew, had a team of people around him. You could tell how he was moving. He had a team of people around him. I think Big Bear seemed to have a team of people around him. That's just the ones that I've seen. But do these kids have the infrastructure in place to negotiate these things? and most of them don't. So doing business on a hope, like Lane Kiffin said, or a promise. There's gonna be something that get burnt. All right, you see me walking the Dolphin stuff, man. Usually when I'm walking the Dolphin stuff, I got some Dolphin to talk about. The Miami Dolphins signed Duke Johnson a couple weeks ago. I saw him get in, play. He was active. Got the ball a few times, ran decent. But here this week, Duke Johnson is the only active running back they have. I think the rest of the running backs have COVID. So the local Miami Hurricane star Duke Johnson has an opportunity at Miami at running back that's like a fairy tale. It's like everybody's moved out the way. Sort of like what Rooster had this year. Everybody's moved out the way, and it's you. It's your ball. Here's your chance to do whatever it is you got to do. Get this thing going. And, hey, if you flourish, it's yours. What's odd about that is another University of Miami running back had the same opportunity, and was Mark Walton. Mark Walton a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, after getting in trouble, was brought back, and Miami had no running back. There was nobody in Miami's running back room with the talent of Mark Walton. And Mark Walton in that moment didn't take advantage of the opportunity. And I just was thinking like, man, that was such a good opportunity. Like, that usually don't happen, man. Like, you usually don't get in trouble in the NFL and then get a chance to come back. And then the Moses Red Sea open for you. But lightning has struck twice when it comes to the Miami Dolphins and Miami Hurricane running backs. So this week we get a chance to see Duke Johnson, I'm sure, with a workload with the Miami Dolphins, who think run 5 in a row, 6 in a row. Think they got the last one. Which I thought was really interesting topic to bring up. You know what I'm saying? So y'all tune in, man, to this weekend and watch Miami Dolphins and Duke Johnson. Why Duke Johnson significant? Because Footballville started with Duke Johnson. For a lot of you who just got here, who not sure how Footballville started. Footballville started with youth football, then it went to high school football. But it was once called DoloCam. And DoloCam, if you go to YouTube and type in DoloCam, you'll see mostly videos of Duke Johnson. I think you'll see one of Northrop, the linebacker out of Florida State. Tracy Howard had a DoloCam. Offensive tackle who blocked for Duke at New Orleans and Miami. His name is escaping me right now. I don't know. First rounder to the New York Giants. He has a DoloCam. But there's a few DoloCams out there. But that's how Footballville started. I would go to the games, put the camera on the star player, and you could see what the star player was doing, whether he got the ball or whether he didn't get the ball. And what I quickly realized is that it only worked for Duke. That's how good he was. So listen, man, tune in this weekend, watch the Miami Dolphins, man, and Duke Johnson get a chance to tote the rock. And you want to get involved with investing, man, ILD squad, man. If Miami could win 5 or 6 in a row, you could win 5 or 6 trades in a row. Link is in the description, man. Let's talk about 247 Sports and Stargate. Got an explanation, dog. I think I got an explanation. Talking to the camp, I think we came up with an explanation on why 2 kids, Coleman, the wide receiver, Cyrus Moss visits Miami, 5 stars, and literally leaves Sunday and Tuesday, they're 4 stars. Got a real quick explanation on why we think, and let us know in the comment section, you know, is it BS or not? Andrew Evans once came to the show.
So how we have it set up, and it's to be modeled after the NFL draft. And this was all framework put in before me. You know, I'm just, I'm a spokesman for it now. But I agree with all of it. Right. Obviously, you know, I believe in it. There's a rankings council of people. You know, I'm on it. There's 8 people. We do a call every week. And what we're trying to do with the 24/7 Sports rankings is project to the next level, the NFL. So if you're a 4-star, we think you're a guy that will play in the NFL.
Projecting to the NFL.
Yes. That's why we only have 32 5-stars to model after the 32 first-round picks. So we don't just.
I got you. That makes sense now.
He broke down what the star rating was, and I realized that we were all looking at the star rating like wrong. We all think it's like projections of college football or how good a kid is in high school football. And that's not what it was. You go check that out. Go check the video out when you get a chance. Go check out the entire interview with Andrew Evans. But 5 stars in particular, they're projecting those kids to the NFL. So they're saying if you're a 5-star, we say you are one of the 32 kids to have a chance to make it to the NFL. X says there's more than 32 5-stars right now. I haven't counted. But when Andrew Evans came to the show, that's what he said. He said that 32 5-stars was representative of 32 teams of these kids being first-rounders projecting to the NFL. So, if you look at it from that standpoint, because we all were questioning why kids lose their stars. When kids come to Miami to visit, a lot of the crystal balls and things of that nature are gauged off where the kid visited last, where he's been multiple visits to. That's what a lot of them are gauged off of. If a linebacker comes to Miami to visit, and Miami's no longer linebacker you are putting kids in the league, then that 5-star kid who was once probably looking at Georgia or Bama, they look at that kid and then take a star away, because if you end up at Miami, it's not really a knock on Miami or knock on the kid saying that his talent declined. So it is a knock on Miami, because it's basically saying if you're going to end up at Miami, the odds of you going first round at linebacker are now slimmer. We no longer project you as a 5-star. See, the problem of it is that we think the projection is, hey, we look at the kid film, he plays like a 5-star, he should be a 5-star. And even with Andrew Evans coming to the show to explain it, we still make the rating what we want to make the rating. Those guys are projecting to the NFL. So the 5-stars are first rounders in the NFL. I think the 3-stars are actually kids that are going to be great college players. So keep that in mind when we're looking at the star thing, because even myself revert back to what before the thought process I had before Andrew Evans came to the show. Is that, man, look at this film, man, look how you get off the ball, man, that's a 5-star dog, they tripping. But that's not what the projection is. The projection is 5 stars are first rounders, and that's why it was only 32 of them. You're about to commit to Georgia, you're about to commit to Clemson, you're a 5-star. You got a chance of going first round. When you start taking visits to the Miamis, and you start taking visits to the Florida States and the Florida, then your projection as a first rounder drops, which hence why they take away stars. Let us know in the comment section below. You calling BS on that? Go check out the interview, man. I'm D. IOD Squad. I'm out.